I believe that this book can go the distance. Let's go ahead and send the first theory. Full request for Villain Theory. My very first rejection. Woo! Taking this project that we've been working on in the quiet hours for so long, and we are putting it out into the world, looking for representation. I don't know why I do this to myself. I am not feeling the best. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that just happened. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Hannah. I have a degree in publishing, and over the course of the past year, I have been working on writing and revising a book called Villain Theory. Some of you may know that over the past couple months, I was querying that novel starting in January. I did a whole video on the prep steps I made, working towards my query letter, writing that all out. I also have since put out a Substack breaking down the elements of my query letter. But today's video is extra special because today I actually get to share with you the vlogging videos that I took during my querying process. I'm no longer in the query trenches because as of February 17th, I have signed with a literary agent, and not just any agent, but a dream agent. Today is March 24th, so I've already been signed and working with them for over a month. And I will just say things were going incredible. I could not be happier with my choice, but I'm getting ahead of myself. In order to tell you the story properly, I'm going to take you back to the beginning of 2026, the very 1st of January at like 4 o'clock in the morning, when I decided that I was going to start vlogging this experience. I had just gotten feedback from my beta readers, and I was moving into my third round of revisions and finishing up my query package, getting everything ready to jump into the query trenches. I had no idea how long this process was going to be or how short. I also wasn't entirely sure if I was fully committed yet to recording the whole thing. So the first couple of videos are a little rough, but you know, the word that I always come back to when I'm trying to describe my corner of the internet, my personal brand of showing up and my content is chaotic. I'm a little bit messy, a little bit unhinged. No two querying experiences look alike. So I'm really excited to share my journey with you today. One quick note is I have always aspired to be traditionally published. From the time I was like 7 or 8, I knew that this was the path I wanted to take. Sharing what I'm learning as I pursue traditional publishing is not meant to be a statement on what is objectively the right or wrong way to publish. This is just the way that I am choosing to pursue my childhood dream, my lifelong dream. I'm just really grateful that I had the opportunity to record it, reflect on it, and now share it with you, because I think that these kinds of experiences can be really helpful for people who were in my shoes 1 year ago. People who had a story idea, had the desire to query, and have this dream of traditional publishing, but who aren't quite sure how to get there or don't really know anyone personally that they've seen get there. So I'm trying to take this one piece at a time as someone who has greatly benefited, and I've said this in many videos, but someone who's greatly benefited from watching other people's journeys, learning from them, listening to their reflections. If you take the opportunity to learn from the publishing community and then turn around and give back when it's your turn, that is the lifeblood of this community. That's how the publishing industry runs, is on word of mouth and community support and writers supporting writers and readers supporting readers and everyone sharing in their love for stories. This happens when we are all willing to put in the work ourselves and then turn around and share what we're learning with the people who come after us. Without further ado, let's wind back to the past. I recorded a lot of this vlog on my phone just because that was easier than setting up and recording with all of my equipment while juggling a little guy. But let's rewind back to January 1st of 2026 and catch up with Hannah from 3 months ago. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning on January 1st, 2026. Last year was the year that I wanted to master writing my book. I think I did that. I was able to write it in 6 months and get it to beta readers, and they just finished up yesterday on the 31st last day of the year, sent in all their feedback, and I started reading it right after midnight. I've already edited chapter 1 with the second round of developmental edits. So if that doesn't tell you how excited I am about the development and progress of this story, I don't know what will. I really need to go to bed, but I'm so excited. 33 more chapters to go, and then we're into queries. It's finally time to query again for the first time in almost 3 years. Wish me luck, but let's do this. I am working my way through implementing the feedback that I got from my beta readers. The word count is pushing 105,000. You don't want to be pushing more than like 120, keeping a very close eye on that word count. I have resolved a few of the confusing or weak points of the early plot in the book, as well as filled out some of the background information for me to know that will be reflected in my characters and their behaviors and their choices. Hopefully all of that comes together really well in the last half of the book. I just sent some share links to good friends, writing friends, who offered to read through my query package and give me some of their feedback. So I am working on those revisions for my query letter. I think it's really strong now. I'm actually really happy with it. I also wrote out my synopsis yesterday. If you've ever tried to write a synopsis, you know how challenging that can be. Right now, it is a rough draft at 2 pages, right around 1,000 words, which I think is just too long. Many agents ask you to have it 1 page, and so I'm going to try to kind of cut that down in the next couple days. I did put out a Substack just talking about my prep steps for how I'm doing query prep this time, kind of comparing it to the last time I was going into queries. The process is just so much more intentional this time. My manuscript and my pitch are much stronger this time, so I'm feeling very confident about all of that. I did also give myself a deadline to shoot for, and that deadline was January 20th. So I am now working towards that deadline. We have 8 days to go before I query. Once I start into queries, I will still be spending a little bit of time in the manuscript, just cutting down on fluff language while I'm waiting to get responses and hopefully requests back from agents. 8 more days, and then I'm going to query this. The hard part about jumping into queries is, up until this point, everything has been within the writer's control, right? You have the book idea, you set your writing goals, you track your word count and your plot progress, and you try to balance it all. You try to market it and build your online audiences, which is exhausting in and of itself. And then you're trying to refine your story and build deep characters. It is a huge process, a huge undertaking. It takes months, if not years, off your life. So how I feel. And now we're reaching the point where you're sending it to the void, and it's so variable. Yes, your work needs to be pristine, but then on top of that, the timing also needs to be really good. And you just have to have luck is a big part of it too. I think that it's going to go well. I am just hoping to get lots of rejections that tell me I'm on the right path. I just want to know that I've improved and maybe get, instead of 5 requests, get like 10. I'm going to begin plotting, outlining, and preparing to draft my next book, so that I'm not just constantly checking Query Tracker and obsessing over all of the rejections that I'm sure will come through. You can spend like days or weeks in the query trenches. You could also spend months or years, and that longer time period tends to be the typical experience for a lot of my writing friends. You could go in for a few weeks, find your dream agent, everything lines up, and then you're done and moving on to going out on sub or doing some revisions and then going out on sub with your agent. There's also just the chance that you spend a decade querying books. Hustle and hard work tend to win out over raw talent. If you are determined to make this happen, and you're willing to work for it, it's just a matter of time. In my mind, that's what I believe. Maybe I am one of those tragic optimists, but that's what I believe. It's January 15th. I have just been working on my query package and some final revisions before we go into queries next week. Yesterday on Threads, I saw that Jamie Lynn Hendricks, who is an amazing Kirkus-starred thriller author, offered to look over a few query letters for authors who wanted some feedback, and I just responded and asked if she would look over mine, and she said yes. She did look over my query, and she messaged me this morning, and she advised me to take out one line, so I'm going to take that line out. And then she says, "I'm curious about the writing since the query is so good." Oh my gosh. "Can you send me your first page?" Email it to her email. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I can't stop saying thank you. So I sent her my first page. She gets back to me like 5 minutes later. Here's what she said. "I've said a million times that getting an agent is a combination of talent, luck, and timing. So far, you've had bad luck and bad timing. Keep going. That'll change. No notes." What? I have not had any serious career authors see my work before, and so this is a little bit nerve-wracking. But again, when I was talking about in the beta reading video about just sending the one page, sending the one chapter, this is a part of that. On the off chance she's watching this, thank you so much, Jamie. That gave me such a huge boost. It makes me just feel like I'm on the right track, and I texted my mom about it, obviously freaking out, and she was totally right. That it does just feel like evidence of all of the work that I've put into the craft and the preparation and the plot and all of these things. Even if everything goes wrong and I don't actually get an agent out of this book, I feel that much more ready to jump into my next book with everything I've learned. And if I don't get an agent with Villain Theory, then I will with whatever comes after, because I don't know, I'm feeling confident today. If you are an author taking valuable moments to share, uplift, and provide feedback or encouragement to young writers, you are like the backbone of this community, because not only are you the epitome of what we all aspire to, but you are turning around and giving back despite everyone feeling at times like it is very competitive. The mindset and the self-doubt is one of the biggest hurdles for creatives to get over in order to share their work. So grateful, and I just really hope that someday I am in this place where I can take some time to review someone's query letter and tell them to keep going, and tell them that I have no notes because it's so good. I finished my developmental edits on my manuscript yesterday. We are now officially on draft 3. At this point, I feel like it is the best of the best that I can make it. I feel confident in sharing it with literary agents. Today is the 19th. I was really hoping to be ready to jump into queries starting on the 20th. And it looks like we are actually ready to go. Amazing feedback on my query letter. I've got that cleaned up. I've written my synopsis and gotten that cut down to about a page. It's all ironed out. Everything is cleaned up and ready. And now comes the fun part, the scary part. I have been spending the last day or so, especially today, very specifically looking for literary agents that would represent this story well and support me as an author who's interested in a lifelong career of writing. It can be surprisingly hard to find an agent that fits all of those boxes, which is why you never want to approach querying by simply looking up someone who represents your genre and throwing it to the wind. I feel like that is how a lot of people rack up a lot of rejections really fast. The last time I was in the query trenches, that's exactly what I did. I started batch querying every agent that represented YA fantasy. I got 40 rejections within a month. So this time I'm going to send a batch of 5 queries to 5 agents that I feel genuinely I would connect with. They represent my category, my genre, but they also seem like someone that I would genuinely build a lifelong business relationship with and that I could get along with. I have also registered and paid for 1 year of premium query tracker so that I can see all the stats of all of the agents I'm looking at. I also signed up for a subscription to Publishers Marketplace. I want a career partner in a literary agent that not only loves my book and represents my genre, but has a proven track record of being able to sell it to reputable publishers. This is a huge part of the reason why we need to approach storytelling and writing a novel specifically as both a very creative endeavor that needs to be high quality, the best of our work, our passion, but also a business venture. I'm not writing this just for fun. I don't consider myself a hobby writer. I want this to be a career, which involves finding someone who can help me make it a career. I believe that this book can go the distance. Let's go ahead and send the first query. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Okay, this agent accepts queries via email. In this case, I am sending an email to the agency and addressing it in the opening salutations to the agent specific to that query. So I'm going to go ahead and export my first 50 pages. I will attach it with a query letter addressed to this agent and a small personalization why I think she'd be a great fit. And then we're sending it off. It's a few minutes later. I officially exported the first 50 pages of my manuscript as a docx file, which is a Word doc file. I also exported the full manuscript as a Word doc file so that it's ready to go just in case I get a quick response from her. I don't expect to, but you just never quite know, so I want to be over prepared for this. I've read it a million times. I think it's good. So I am going to go ahead and click send. Sometime in the next month or two, I could get a rejection. I could also get a full request sometime in the next 3 weeks or so. I'm gonna go find another potential agent that I think would be a really great fit. So I'm just gonna say for this one, even though we're a great fit, I'm fully expecting to get a closed no response just based on her query tracker metrics. But it does say she's open to queries, and she did just sell a book as recently as last week, and she's been consistently selling books on Publishers Marketplace every month for the past several months. And so I know that she's active, she's looking, and so we'll see what she thinks of this query for Villain Theory, and maybe it's enough to get a response. It is Tuesday, January 20th. I have been in the query trenches for less than 24 hours, and of the 10 agents that I started querying yesterday, one of them has already got back to me with a full request for Villain Theory. And I'm kind of freaking out because I was not expecting to get a full request before a rejection. I really thought that I was going to get a rejection first, especially from this agent. I just don't even have words right now. I'm freaking out. I'm just going to send my first full requested manuscript over to this agent, and then one of three things will happen. Either the agent will pass on the manuscript, they'll request an R&R, which is a revise and resubmit, or they will want to schedule a call. I'm a little scrambled that it's happening this way. I was expecting to get rejections first, so I know that that is not usually the case. It's very rare. I'm really grateful that they are taking the time to look at it, and we'll see what they have to say. I'm gonna go send the manuscript now. You're probably gonna hear my little guy in the background, but I am sitting in a Sam's Club parking lot, really trying to hold back tears of joy. Just the amazing response that I've had to these queries I've already sent out and to this manuscript so far. Today's January 21st. It's like 10 a.m. so Sam's Club just opened and I need to go in there and get groceries, and instead all I can do is sit here and just be excited with everyone on my stories and on Instagram. I'm just sharing the little pieces of the full manuscript requests that come in as they come in. I actually had one come in while I was sitting in the Dutch Bros drive-through, and it came in so fast that I just shared it to my stories. The agent saw it and she's like, I'm running to my inbox now. And I was like, wait, I haven't even sent it yet. I'm not even home. I'm getting groceries. I'm gonna go home and send it to her as soon as I get back from the store. We're gonna run in and grab groceries as fast as we can. And honestly, this has just been so fun. And I'm sure it happens. I've never really heard of anyone getting this great of a response in the first 24 hours. Can't wait to see what the agents actually think about the submissions. So I'm so happy to share all of these things, obviously, but I gotta take care of my little guy and run into the grocery store and still do normal human things. So we're gonna do that, and then I'll go home and query some more agents, help some people with their query packages, and send off this next full submission. I'm kind of a mess today because I just have not been able to think about anything else, but it's going really well, so we'll see what happens from here. I'm just so excited and very happy to be taking you guys along with me. Okay, so I'm back home. My groceries are all put away. My little guy is down for his nap, and so now I am just sitting down to send out this next full request. Sorry, I'm feeling very emotional about this. While we were at the store, I was already planning for groceries this week to get myself a bouquet of flowers because I wanted to celebrate this little milestone of jumping into the query trenches. And obviously, I was not expecting to get any requests yet or responses, but I bought myself these little lilies. Lilies are my favorite, and I just wanted to commemorate this little jump in the next step towards my goal of becoming traditionally published. And I know I look like a mess today because today I'm mostly playing mom and not working as much on queries as I have been the last 2 days. But I'm still kind of feeling a lot of the emotions that have come from these first 48 hours. Having 4 requests in 2 days for a manuscript, especially after spending months in the query trenches with my previous project, and then getting rejections while I was on maternity leave, and feeling kind of that heartbreak and that recognition that it wasn't my time yet, this wasn't the project. Coming back to this new round of queries, just having done all of the preparation I could and putting in the work, and getting such a positive response has made me really emotional. It's just a little piece of my journey and my story that I'm grateful I get to share with you. I'm grateful for all of these agents that are taking the time to look at my work and that are showing interest in it. Even if they all end up as rejections, this tells me that I'm on the right track because it is a marked improvement from the last time I was in queries. And I know that even if this isn't the book that gets me a book deal, the next one will, or the one after that, but I'm so close. And so I'm just so grateful. Wow. And I want to share this with you. So yeah, here's me crying on the internet to my phone because I'm so excited. If you are working on something really hard, especially something that you have been putting in months, if not years of unseen time on, and you're willing to show up and put in the hustle when no one else is watching and when no one else is holding you accountable, that is pretty incredible, and not everybody can do that, and I hope that you take the time to celebrate your milestones. Jumping into the query trenches takes so much courage, and I hope that you are recognizing that effort and that you're not selling yourself short. Go buy yourself some flowers on my behalf because I would buy you flowers if I were standing there next to you. I don't even have an offer yet, but I'm just so grateful for everyone who has helped me. I'm grateful for feedback. I'm grateful for this great writing community. I feel like I have really good writing friends in my circles online, and we just share in this together. We're sharing this progress. This is literally so mushy. If you're a writer and you know the pain and the hours, days, the years that go into writing a book, and then the fear that no one will like it, it's something else. It's really something else. So let's go send this next full request, and then I'm going to query some new agents. I was planning to do it in batches of 10 and then wait for feedback, but my feedback is coming in really fast. And so I want to make sure that I cast my net wide and get a good group of agents looking at this And then if I get an offer or maybe a few offers, I can coordinate with them and then really just find the perfect business partner to move forward with me in this goal towards becoming published. I'm a mess. And everyone on socials has been asking me to critique their query letter and give them all of my secrets, and I'm sorry to tell you, I don't really have secrets. And it's because I just share everything that I'm doing. And I will be putting together like a Substack and a YouTube video and a bunch of stuff to help other writers who are also in the same place, so that we can all achieve these publishing dreams together, because I think the world is a better place when we share stories that mean something to us, and we do it all as people, as creatives and as storytellers. Okay, let's go send this full request and query some more agents. Hi guys, today is Friday, January 23rd. Don't worry, the mush is gone for now. I'm back to my cool girl apathy. No one will know my deepest, darkest feelings for maybe the next 2 minutes before I actually start telling you these updates. I have cried my tears and kind of had a few days to start processing this really awesome, positive response to first queries for Villain Theory, and now I get to update you on where we're at. I know I told you that I was looking at doing a batch of 5 or 10, and then as soon as I started getting all of these really awesome responses and requests, I decided that I was just going to continue to send consistent batches daily instead of weekly. So at this point, I have now queried 23 agents as of 3 o'clock on Friday, January 23rd. And of those 23 agents, 2 of them came from a direct request on Instagram after I posted a really unhinged post. Yesterday, I sat down and I was going to share another query tips post for most of my followers, because most of my followers are writers like me and you. But I did know that pitching yourself and your book on social media is becoming more common, and literary agents are more and more willing to reach out to authors if they see a project online that interests them. And I decided to take that one step further. I put together a carousel for my application to become your next signed client. Within parentheses, I said, hi, literary agents. We know that we're all stalking each other on social media. It would be negligent to approach an agent, or in reverse, for an agent to approach an author with any kind of interest without also looking at the digital footprint that they have. And so, taking into account that at least a few of these agents I'm querying would probably look at my account at some point in the next few days, I put together a pitch deck for myself, and I just shared a little bit about my degree, how fast I can write a manuscript, that I love getting editorial feedback, and then just a few of my experiences that make me a valuable client. The fact that I have marketing experience and I can take my own author headshots because I did wedding photography, all just these little things. And I made the whole thing, and then I put it all onto my Instagram post, and I typed out a little caption, and I sat there and I was like, should I be posting this, or is this just too bold, too brazen? I embraced the little unhinged moment, got my little 20 seconds of courage, some may say, and I hit post, and it went out into the void, and instantly it started gaining traction. First of all, everyone who already followed me has been so nice and hyping me up, and I always worry when I share things like this that it's gonna make people feel bad or angry at me. I've had the hardest time over the last few years coming to terms with the fact that it's okay for me to talk about my projects, and it's okay for me to promote myself on my social media channels, just because that is a weird thing to do. I have spent so long trying to work up the courage to promote myself, and I always worry that other people are going to compare themselves and tear themselves down based on what I'm sharing, and I never want that to be the case. At the same time, I also have to recognize that I am not in charge of how other people interpret my self-promotion. I've been getting braver in that regard. 5 days in to the query trenches with 5 requests, 4 fulls and a partial. I had an agent jump into my comments just today and ask for a query. She immediately got back to me, CC'd on her assistant, and they are looking over it together and said that they would get back to me with a response as soon as possible. I have not yet received any rejections, although I'm expecting to, simply because I know that some agents I've queried align more tightly with this manuscript and its comps, and others are more broad fantasy reps. I'm not sure what entirely they're looking for in a fantasy story, because fantasy is so broad that it could be so many things. And so yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back. I still haven't heard back from any of my other requests, but I'm very hopeful, and I don't know, it feels very surreal. It feels kind of too good to be true, and that's as someone who has always kind of been a little cynical about things, and like, you don't really mean that, do you? there's no way you mean that. I just put it out there because I needed a new way to suffer. Anyways, that's kind of where we sit right now. I've had so many people reaching out. They're all really excited about my requests, and they've all expressed varying degrees of wishing that they could be here too. And I totally agree, and I've been in that place where I've sat and I've watched my friends get full requests, and I'm like, if only I could write a book like that. If only I could write a book that garners full requests like that. I am living proof that you can do that. Even if you've been in the query trenches for years, even if you've gotten 100% rejections on a previous project, because that's what happened to me. Like, I'm living proof that this can happen, and this is a craft that can be learned. And I can't control how you approach things, but I really, really don't want you to be sitting here and feeling angry or sad because you want requests and they aren't coming in yet. I really hope that this is something that we can work toward together, and that we can share these skills, share what we're learning. I really think it's just competing against our own inner critic, and moving past that in order to write our stories. I am so exhausted from sending queries. I think I'm gonna try to send 2 more so that I hit 25, and then I'm going to work on a Substack for today. I've had lots of people asking me for tips and tricks on how to query, how to prep for querying, and I'm sharing bits and pieces of it on my socials. I have not had the time to go in depth in my responses to everyone's questions like I want to, because there's nothing I love more than sharing and teaching and providing my insights and spilling my secrets, as you know. But I am planning to do a big reflection Substack on all of this experience and how things have gone as soon as things settle down a little. I think right now I'm very much in this tumultuous, messy middle of the querying trenches, I guess I would call it. I've got 5 requested manuscripts out with agents, and then I have like 20 or so more who it's on their list and in their inbox, and now I'm just waiting. Monday will mark 7 days since I started querying, a full calendar week, and Query Tracker tells me that that's a pretty good average for some of these agents and their turnaround time. So I think I will get maybe a couple responses, probably my first rejection. Until further notice, I'm just planning to continue sending out queries, making adjustments based on research, and then inevitably when feedback comes in, this video is just going to be like a mess of vlogs. It's not going to be very organized, but that's okay, because we're doing it authentically, and if it was perfectly organized, then it'd be like AI. So we also hit 100 subscribers on my newsletter, which I have had for almost a year. But yeah, we're doing great with that. And then my YouTube has some amazing new subscribers who have joined us since my last video on beta reading, and I'm so happy you're here. Hello, how are you enjoying this vlog? I'm gonna go query some people. Yeah, I gotta finish my newsletter. Hi everyone, today is Monday, January 26th, and I'm here to give you the recap week 1 summary. In the first 7 days of querying, I have managed to send out 23 queries. I did try really hard to step away from my inbox and my manuscript for the weekend just to kind of clear my mind, because the influx of queries just made me so excited, but there was so much tension that I couldn't dispel. I couldn't get my mind off of it, so we did go out and get froyo. We had like a game night with some friends and just did everything we could to keep my mind off of the querying process. I have sent some new queries today. I still have 5 outstanding requests, and I do have my very first rejection. Woo! The first rejection came in, I think, on Friday or Saturday. And it was just a form rejection, a very kind form rejection. And yeah, I'm just grateful that this agent took the time to look at it. And the fact that she passed on it, well, initially was a little bit disappointing because I had been on a roll and I had some really good momentum going on. It also helped me realize that I am one step closer to finding my dream agent, and it's okay. So we have 1 rejection in the bag, and I shared it with you guys over the weekend, and everyone was saying that now I have skin in the game and now it's real, the stakes are raised. So yeah, I'm excited to hear back hopefully soon about my outstanding requests and what people are thinking of the actual whole manuscript. As of today, I have sent out 3 new queries. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad, you guys. I'm literally marketing and posting so much this week. Whenever I catch a little piece of momentum in my marketing, I tend to draw it out as long as I can, but I don't want to draw it out in a way that's meaningless or empty. I try to fill that with as much value as possible, and it seems to be working so far. I've gained a lot of new followers, and they have mostly just been people who are in the same spot as me, querying and looking for ways to prepare for querying, researching agents, refining a query letter, writing a synopsis, and pitching themselves as a potential client. So it's just been really fun to connect with a lot of people. We're all kind of commiserating together in the challenge that is query trenches. I will say this time I feel like I've been really lucky and just had some really great responses early on, whereas most of the time it's pretty normal to not hear anything back for several weeks at the minimum, or to also get pretty early on form rejections. So I am feeling very grateful, and I'm trying to do everything I can to help share my approach with my audiences so that you can also present your book, position your book, and market yourself in a way that makes agents want to talk to you and want to look at your material and hopefully one day represent you. We're all in this together. I hope that we can learn from each other, and I'm just so excited to see what this week brings. I'm just gonna keep being very intentional about who I'm querying. If something changes, you guys will know, and we can talk about it, and we can get really excited together. I hope this makes you feel a little braver. I'm just a normal person trying my best, so if I can do it, then I know that you can too. Today's Wednesday, January 28th, and I am exhausted. It is such a grueling experience being in the query trenches. We've only been in it for 9 days, and already I feel the effects wearing on me because we're taking this project that we've been working on in the quiet hours for so long, and we are putting it out into the world looking for representation. It is exhausting. If you have friends in the query trenches right now, send them all your love because this is grueling work. Yesterday, my inbox was quiet. We didn't get any requests or any rejections, and so I was able to send out a good batch of new queries as well as do some agent research. And then this morning at 7 a.m., right as I was getting up, I checked my inbox to see that I had gotten my second rejection for Villain Theory. There are 3 different kinds of rejections that you can get in the query trenches, and there are definitely some that are more preferable than others. The first kind of rejection is called a CNR, or closed no response rejection. And essentially this happens when an agent is so overloaded with queries that they are not able to reply to everyone who queries them. And so as a result, you kind of set an amount of time, like 3 months, 4 months, or if the agency website gives you a time frame, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. After a certain time has passed and you haven't heard back from that agent, most writers find it safe to mark it as a CNR rejection, aka closed no response. That is the saddest kind of rejection that you can get, is no reply at all. But it does happen simply because this industry is so overloaded with so many hopeful writers, and there are only so many agents with so many hours in the day to respond. It's impossible to reply to us all. So CNR is a hard rejection because you have to classify it yourself, but it can be good to help close out those things that are left hanging and move on to whatever comes next. The second kind of rejection that you can get is a form rejection from an agent. And what this looks like is an agent sending you a reply to a query and simply copying and pasting a kind but formal message that your story wasn't for them. I received a form rejection last week. It was very kind and simply let me know that the agent was passing on this manuscript and I could now close that query. It was quick and easy. It's nice to have a reply. It's still a form rejection, which means that the query didn't stand out enough for her to be invested, but that's okay. The third kind of rejection that you can get in the query trenches is called a personalized rejection, and it's exactly what it sounds like. This is a rejection where the agent shares details about your book or your query that caught their interest, or some comment about your opening pages or your premise or anything like that, and then regrets to inform you that unfortunately it's still not quite a fit for them, so they are going to pass. It is still a disappointment because it is a rejection and they are not moving forward with your query. However, these are the best kind of rejections to get because they tell you that you have a promising premise or great writing, or that you are just catching agent eyes and that agent was interested enough by your story to not only take the time to read your query letter, but also to look at your sample pages and give it some consideration. And when agents are so overloaded with so many requests, it is a very special thing to get a personalized rejection. This rejection I got this morning was a personalized rejection, and so I want to just kind of read it to you and let you see an example of what a positive rejection can look like, because they do exist. So this agent sent me this email first thing this morning, responding to a query I sent yesterday. So again, quick reply times are amazing. And she replied and said, "Unfortunately, villain theory isn't what I'm looking for right now, so I'll be passing with regrets. Your opening pages make it clear that you're a good writer." Thank you so much. "And though I think this concept has potential, for some reason I'm not connecting with it as strongly as I would have liked. That's almost certainly a me problem, so I'm hopeful that another agent will feel differently. Thank you for considering me, and very best of luck with your other queries." This was, of course, disappointing because it's a rejection. It's also incredibly encouraging because she was drawn in by my opening pages. She thinks that I'm a good writer and she's just not connecting with the concept. She sees potential though, and that's okay. She still is hopeful that another agent will find it intriguing and that they will consider representation. I'm trying to see it in a positive light and be very grateful. The fact that she took the time to respond is a big deal in and of itself. Otherwise, it's been quiet around here the last few days. I've just been sending queries again. I'm up to 38 now, and so I think I'm going to slow down on my submissions and my new queries. I have 6 requests still out and pending and under review. I'm going to draft some materials that I can refer to in case I do get an agent who wants to get on a call with me. I'm cautiously hopeful, and as someone who really just needs time to think through my responses and prepare for those kind of business calls, I'm going to take some time to draft up blurbs of what I would say in response to questions, what kind of questions I would ask an agent, some one-line pitches for other story ideas that I have that I'm working on or that I've started drafts for. And then as the week closes out, if I feel like my positive and negative response materials are pretty solid and everything is going relatively well with this manuscript, then I'm actually going to start looking at the next book I want to write. I need to start looking at a new outline and doing some development. We'll see where we go from here. This is unfortunately the reality for a lot of the querying process. You hear nothing, or you get rejections, and you might get some requests, and then you're just waiting and waiting to see what anyone says. So that's what I'm working on this week, kind of getting those materials ready just in case, so that they are things I've already thought through. I'm so exhausted by this querying process, but at the end of the day, I will be satisfied if I can say that I played all my cards, left it all on the field, and that I worked tirelessly in this endeavor. It's that relentlessness that I think will get me one step closer to signing with an agent, and then one day signing with a publisher, and one day signing a book and handing it to a reader. I was thinking the other day about the phrase, whatever it takes. And I think a lot of times people use that phrase meaning whatever I can give, I will. But whatever it takes is an interesting phrase. It doesn't necessarily imply that you always have control over what is taken. I've been thinking about that a lot, and I was telling my mom about this a few weeks ago, kind of philosophizing on it, on this concept of doing whatever it takes. Sometimes it takes time you didn't know you would have to give away, and taking is different than giving because it implies that something is removed from you. It doesn't say whether it's something that you necessarily offered up. I told my mom that this is a book I'm willing to pursue, whatever it takes. Time, resources, energy, my mental health. When you say you are willing to do something, whatever it takes, that is a serious commitment. I'm trying to take it as seriously as I can, one day at a time. It is still Wednesday, January 28th, and I don't know why I do this to myself. Sometimes the data of Query Tracker can be very helpful for setting base expectations as far as like general response times and those kinds of things. But I think I may have taken it too far this time. I haven't heard anything except for the rejection today, which was early this morning. And, we're kind of starting to get to the 8-day, 10-day mark where some of these requests are supposed to be coming back. And so I just thought I would get on and look at some of the data of how these agents are doing and whether they've been looking at their submissions over the last few days, rejecting them or whatever. And I looked at one who has an average submission reply date of a few days. And he has had my manuscript for 2 days. And I just happened to check. He has a 99% reply rate. So he replies to almost every single manuscript query that he receives. Totally unprompted. I just got on Query Tracker and I just checked his data along with everyone else's, and he has worked all the way up to all of the submissions before mine. There's a place on Query Tracker where you can look and see how they're doing with their submissions, and today he rejected the two projects that were submitted right before mine. So mine is, I'm going to show you. So here's where we're at. This yellow bar is my manuscript, my full complete manuscript that he has. Here are the responses of all of the manuscripts that came before mine. Now I'm just freaking out because there is a very good chance that he is reading my manuscript right now. And so, of course, I went back to my first chapter and specifically my query that I sent him, looking at those details and the query letter, the personalization. I looked up his bio again and just kind of gave myself a refresher of this agent and what he's looking for and what kind of books he's represented in the past. And honestly, you guys, he would be a dream to work with. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If he's reading my book right now and he thinks that it's worth something, it'd be a dream. He has not extended an offer to anyone since October of last year. And I know that he's looking for more thrillers than fantasy, but still very eager about fantasy. My heart is just pounding right now. It's probably going to be a rejection, and that's just the truth of it. But I think that the stress is elevated because I can see so clearly that I'm next on his list. He expressed an eagerness to read the manuscript, which I think is a good thing. They probably say that to everybody who they request fulls from. This is the next closest thing I've seen to a literary agent actually reading my full manuscript. He has seen the whole synopsis, so he knows most of the plot twists. There was another manuscript submitted the same day that I submitted mine to him, and that one he rejected today. Surely I'm on his list, and maybe he's reading it. It's probably going to be a rejection, but it'll be the first feedback I get on my full manuscript. And there's a good chance that I could have a response from him anytime in the next 24 hours. Anyways, there's my update for you. It's still Wednesday, January 28th. It's 5:30 right now. So we'll just see what happens. And we're just going to be over-prepared and optimistic and also ready if it's a rejection, because all of them have been rejections. He has rejected everything in the past month. Fingers crossed. Today is Thursday, January 29th, about 4:30 in the afternoon. Haven't heard back from that agent yet. I'm still next on his list as far as I know. I have queried 2 more agents today, including one which was an Instagram message, a request to query them. It can be a little tricky pitching myself through social media because the expectations are less clear than pitching through formal cold queries. The case where an agent sees my pitching materials on social media and reaches out with an invitation to send them villain theory. Some of them are very clear about wanting to see partial pages or a full manuscript, but other times I've had, I think, 3 or 4 different agents reach out and express interest without telling me whether they want a full or just a partial. And I don't want to send the full on the assumption that that's what they want, because I know that they have limited time, and if they're not interested in a full, then I don't want to get my hopes up yet. I had an agent showing interest this morning, and they are in the UK, and so I sent them a clarifying question asking if they want the full or just a partial. I decided to send it to the email and contact information as they provided it. Of course, I vetted and made sure that they were a legitimate literary agent, and they are, which is amazing. I'm so grateful that they're taking the time to look at those pitch materials. So I sent that in an email. Until I hear otherwise, I'm not going to assume it's a full request. Just trying to keep my statistics really clean this time around, because last time I had messy data and stats and it was really hard for me to keep track of everything. So this time I'm being very meticulous about what I classify as a first query and what I classify as a full or partial request. Those are very, very formal, vetted, and verified. I get a lot of questions about people who are worried about protecting their intellectual rights and their IP when going through the querying process, and it's a good thing to be worried about because people do scam authors off of these kind of methods all the time. And so you want to be triple cross-checking all of your sources. Make sure that you are checking agency websites, triple checking email addresses and everything, just to make sure that you are not sending that incredible manuscript they've worked so hard for, that complete manuscript, to an untrustworthy source. That's where we're at. I've sent 2 new queries today. I have not heard anything back. No other new requests besides that one from Instagram that I'm still considering a first query. Oh, my brain just stopped. That's about it for my inbox today. I am not feeling the best. My little guy had a long day yesterday, a long night last night. I was considering not even recording today because it's just a quiet day, but I did want to celebrate that I hit 40 queries officially. We racked up 6 formal requests, 2 formal rejections, and then a bunch of people who have not yet gotten back to me that I queried following an invitation to query on social media. I'm still up next on this one agent's list, so I'm hoping to hear back from them before the end of the day tomorrow. That would be really cool. We have to remember that agents are real people, and they've got a lot going on in their personal lives as well. They have an established client list, and they're doing lots of things. So I saw something today that was probably meant for me from the universe, telling me that silence in the publishing industry does not automatically equate to rejection. I think that can be a really hard thing to remember in the query trenches, because every single day you have to remind yourself why you chose to do this, as people are actively considering the future of your career, holding your work in their hands, reviewing hours of work in a matter of minutes. It's just a lot to take in. It's a lot to consider. And we have to actively fight against that imposter syndrome. Some days I'm really feeling like the get up and go, and I feel like I can do this, and I've got the hype, and I've got the motivation, and I'm willing to believe in myself. Other days it really just comes down to the basic grit of like, I don't know why I'm doing this today. I just know that I've been doing it so long that it must mean something to me, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Pretty quiet inbox. I'm not feeling awesome physically, very drained emotionally, because that's just the nature of the query trenches. But you know what? That's okay. We are recording the messy, imperfect pieces of this whole thing so that maybe one day, if there's good news, we can watch it back together, and we can be proud of how far we came, and we can prove to the world that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. I will catch up with you in the next couple days. Okay. I should not be panicking like I am, but my hands are shaking a little bit. It's a little past 7 a.m. on Friday, January 30th, and I have an email sitting in my inbox from an agent who has had my full. Of all of the emails so far, this one is the furthest I've gotten. I have a response, and I'm just going to record. It's probably a rejection, maybe a personalized, very nice rejection, but there is a chance. This is the agent that has had my manuscript for 4 days, and it was sitting at the top of their inbox for a couple days. It's been enough time that they could have read the whole thing. It's probably a rejection, but I did put on makeup just in case it's not. So I'm gonna open my email. It's at the top of my inbox. Okay, I turned off the preview text on my emails so that I can't see what the message says until I click on it. So first, let's look at this query response. Okay, this first query response this morning is a rejection. Thank you for sharing the pages of Villain Theory with me. After reading your material with interest, I've decided not to offer you representation. This was a cold query, not one of my requests, so that's okay. And now I have my first full back. So let's just click it and read it together. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello, Hannah. Thank you for sharing Villain Theory with me. My assistant and I have been binge reading it this week, and we both really loved it. Every time I was away from the manuscript, forced to work on other things, I was thinking about it. And assistant read practically the whole book in one sitting. Talia is an incredible main character, and despite her villainous ways, I couldn't help but root for her in, well, anything she was doing. Matthias was the perfect hero, and I loved watching their relationship develop. Plus that twist, it was really fun, and that ending has me wanting to know what you're planning. I would love the chance to speak with you about the book and what you're looking for in an agent. Would you be open to a Zoom chat next week? I'm fairly flexible. Let me know when works best for you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's being really nice, and I already know because I already know that Matthias' character needs a lot of additional development, but I appreciate that they were so excited about it. I'm gonna be so serious right now. I watched like 10 videos last night on YouTube about navigating the next step of this process, receiving an offer, the etiquette of notifications, and all these other things. But a part of me was sitting there the whole time watching all of those videos thinking like, I'm not even gonna use this. No one even likes my book. I think this book might get published. I gotta go tell my husband. I'm gonna check back in. I just need a second to process this. I'm just gonna sit and process this for a minute. We have officially scheduled a call for this upcoming Monday at 9 a.m. my time. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Hopefully you feel it. We can be excited together. My husband is going to get an hour or so off of work so that he can come and take our little guy, and I can just fully focus on being ready to talk to this agent, get to meet them, hear more of their thoughts about the book. I'm so excited. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am. It's just been a great day so far. Overall, we started with the rejection first thing in the morning, immediately followed by that request to call with the agent that read my full and loved it. And then just now I got another full request from an awesome agency. I queried a different agent, and then she passed on the query and sent it along to a new agent. So yeah, we are now going to send the full manuscript to that requesting agent. I'm really grateful for agencies that take the time to network like this. Even if they don't necessarily find an interest in the manuscript, those who are willing to pass it along to a fellow agent within their agency who may be more interested and might be a better fit for representation. I'm going to go ahead and format that. They have asked for a couple things to be added onto the front of the full manuscript, so I need to go in and add my query letter, a synopsis. They also want a brief description of what I'm currently working on, what I'm writing next, so I've got to put that all together. I'm feeling a little bit of paralysis now, like I'm afraid to post anything or draw attention to myself, which is so bizarre because I have been posting and sharing things for years with plenty of literary agents watching, and I think now it's just this knowledge that like I'm potentially looking at taking the next step in his career. I sent little secret texts to my family and just let them know that my call is coming up. They've been all waiting for it, and everyone's been calling me and like wishing me good luck. So I hope that we have a great call on Monday and end the call on Monday with really great news. I'm so excited to take this next step and to talk to an agent who's read my book. That is an amazing accomplishment in and of itself, and the fact that they liked it. I hope that they see a lot of potential and that they're willing to work with me to make it even better. So let's go format those pages, send out that full request, and then start preparing some questions and thinking through how we want to represent ourselves at this agent call on Monday. It is now Sunday, February 1st. It is 10:44 at night, so I had all of yesterday and all of today to kind of let my emotions cool down a little bit. The agent call is happening tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And they basically said that they just want to share more thoughts about my book and talk about what I'm looking for in a literary agent. I have been absolutely lurking in the pub tips subreddit. So if you're looking for, some really good insights and things like that into this part of the process, that has been a really comforting and insightful resource for me over these past few days. So I've just kind of been lurking in that subreddit, reading through people's experiences with talking to agents, getting on calls that are either R&Rs, which is revise and resubmit, or offers of representation. And based on what I've read, based on my research, I think going into tomorrow, this agent is tentatively planning on offering representation. So that's it's really exciting. I have had some time to let my emotions calm down so that I can think more level-headed. At first I was worried because they got back to me on Friday and we scheduled the call for Monday. I was worried that I would kind of spontaneously combust because that was so long between the schedule and the call. But I'm actually really grateful because now some of my nerves have calmed down just a little bit. I prepared some things that I can share with them if they ask. I'm very excited to go in talking about the book and potential next steps. I think it's going to be just a really good conversation in general. And then if an offer comes of it, I will be so grateful and I will have a plan for my little chaotic brain to follow so that I don't completely spiral out of control in this very tentative step of the process. Did send a few last queries to some agents I hadn't gotten to yet, just to be respectful in case there is an offer presented tomorrow. It's not considered good etiquette to continue querying people after you have an open offer that you're considering. So just trying to wrap it all up and be ready for the day. It is Monday, February 2nd, just before 11 a.m., and I am so happy to share that I have received my first offer of representation. I'm feeling lots of emotions. I think it's so hard to believe that 1 year ago this month, I left my corporate job and committed to writing this book, and it has now been offered on by a literary agent who has an incredible editorial vision for where it could go. They said it's very polished, that my voice is a strong upmarket voice with great appeal not only to new adult and young adult audiences, but also to book club audiences and genre readers and book club readers alike. They just had so many good things to say about it. They said it's looking like it's in really good shape, and if we signed and started working on it, they could get me an editorial letter as soon as 2 weeks out. They would be more than happy to look at those revisions, and that we could be going on sub as soon as March, which would be just bizarre. I cannot believe how fast that would move. It's weird to be sitting in my car, the same car that I've been driving for the last 4 years, doing my same routine, wearing my same clothes, and nothing else is different, and yet everything feels different. I'm looking at the bricks on the wall of my house and they look different, and my perspective has drastically shifted in how I value myself and my work. My little guy fell asleep in his car seat. We just dropped off his dad at work. My husband was watching him while I was on the call, and they were upstairs in the nursery, and I dropped him off at work, and he had lines on his face from where he had laid on the vent listening to my conversation. He was so excited for me. It's just such an incredible opportunity, and this agent is so enthusiastic about my book, and he would be an incredible partner to work with on getting this book on shelves. I cannot believe this is happening. I think I just need to sit with it today and just be excited, and let myself feel this moment, because I know that it's a really special moment. One step at a time, one chapter at a time, one page at a time. That's the goal. That's the goal. Sign with a great agent, sign with a publisher, and then sign my books in a bookstore. That's the vision. We can do this. We can do this. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd. It is just after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Little guy is asleep after being a tornado all morning, and I can finally update you guys on how things are looking post receiving my offer yesterday. I think I was kind of in shock for the first 24 hours or so. I hadn't even realized how much hope I had subconsciously built up on top of that conscious enthusiasm. It all happened so slowly over the last year, and then so fast in the last 2 weeks that we have been querying. My body is just trying to figure out how to react to all of these crazy emotions that I've been going through, and the one that I keep landing on is gratitude that other people care about and are excited for my story, and they are interested in reading my work and considering me for representation. Yesterday, after getting off the call and taking some time to first of all send a thank you to that agent, and let them know that I had a deadline and I would be responding to them within just a couple weeks, I went ahead and notified my query list. I was flooded with several people who couldn't fit it in or took a closer look at the query and realized that it didn't quite align with their list or their interests. And so I've had several people since reject or step aside. Honestly, it is one part disappointing, but not as disappointing as I thought it would be, because I know that there's a champion for my work out here, and it very well could just be this very first agent that offered, and I love their vision for the book, and I think that we align really well. And so these rejections now just aren't bothering me as much, and a lot of the nudges were more just out of courtesy to let them know. As of right now, Villain Theory is at 10 rejections and 17 full requests, which is crazy. And I'm just so grateful that they're taking the time to look at it, and that they are seeing something very promising in the query, the premise, and the opening pages. It's a big honor to have industry professionals looking at my work when I am still very much an up-and-coming writer, a trad publishing hopeful, and a debut hopeful. I'm just very, very grateful for that. So we will see what they say. Today is February 5th. Right after 1:30 in the afternoon. As of the moment, we have 19 full requests. 2 of those have been passes. 1 has been an offer, which means we have 16 still waiting. I saw that I have in my inbox a response from a new agent. This is a cold query response from one of my top agencies, and I'm just going to click through and see what she said. Okay, this one's a rejection. Due to an already crowded client list, she is forced to be highly selective when considering new clients. She prioritizes passionate and enthusiastic representation for every writer she works with and has ultimately chosen to step aside so that you may go with the offer you've already received. That's totally fine. It happens. And for every rejection, I am one step closer to narrowing in on who my agent is going to be, what my representation is going to be. February 5th, 2026. And then I sort the column so that it goes to the bottom of my query list. I have a space where I also save and document the actual rejection email so that if there is a consistent pattern in rejections and things that don't stand out to multiple agents, I can see those patterns and then I can make adjustments accordingly so that the manuscript is stronger in general. I'm very grateful that they took the time to respond. 15 rejections, woo! For those 15 rejections, we have 19 full requests, 16 still pending, a little less than 2 weeks until the decision deadline. I think I'm going to hear back from most people, probably well within that timeline. Got a rejection today, woo! And now we continue on. Today is Saturday, February 7th, right around noon. It's the weekend, so I wasn't planning to hear back from anyone, but this morning I did get a rejection on a full request, and it was a very kind rejection. The agent said that they loved reading the book, they just don't represent any new adult right now, and so they are going to step aside so that I can move forward with representation that more closely represents the audience I'm trying to reach. I also got on a call this morning with one of the clients for my current outstanding offering agent, just because after that call all week long I've been feeling like it's too good to be true. It was such a great conversation. Everything about their editorial feedback to their communication style to their industry contacts, everything about it just felt amazing. I was worried that it was too good to be true. So I reached out to one of the clients yesterday, and she is also a writer mom who's running around with all these other commitments, but she has had some really awesome books come out in the last couple years, has another one lined up coming out soon. I slid straight into the DMs and I was like, hey, I have an outstanding offer with this agent and I would just love to hear about your experience. This is very normal to do, from what I understand, at this point in the querying and representation offer window point. So I just reached out to her and chatted with her for a bit, and she was so enthusiastic and confirmed that, you know, this agent is just amazing to work with. She has had one agent before this one, and she could kind of give me like a really good perspective of what working with different agents is like. And then she could list out so many things that she loved about working with this agent. The inner cynic who was believing it was all too good to be true has officially been silenced. And now I'm so rock solid on this outstanding offer. Every day that passes in this 2-week decision window, I am more and more convinced that they are the perfect representation for not only this story, but many of my stories moving forward. And I know that it is such a hard decision to make. I've been intentionally trying to sleep on it and do research and think about it very, very intentionally, because this is a career defining moment. And I just feel better and better about it every day. I'm so grateful that they offered me representation. I'm so excited for the chance to work with them. And honestly, I think at this point now, like, I've had about a week or so to kind of let it sink in before signing the contract. And it just feels right. It feels like the right thing. It doesn't feel like a rushed decision, even though the turnaround time from entering the queries to like getting the offer was so fast. It feels like It feels like the right move. The fact that the contract is in my inbox right now and I could sign it at any moment is so exciting. Those are kind of my thoughts right now. Got on the call with the current client who has had 2 agents in the past. She only had great things to say about this agent, and now all of my last final straggling fears have been quieted, and I just feel so confident about it. Today is Monday, February 9th, and over the weekend I got a few responses from agents. Most of them were just kind rejections. I did get one who was asking about my next project, wanted to see the first pages, and then has now asked for a summary, so I will be sending that on to them here later this morning. I just barely got an email at the top of my inbox that says phone call, and if I tap on it, it says, "Hello Hannah, hope all is well. I wanted to circle in and see if you might have time to chat about villain theory tomorrow. Here are a couple times that work best for me. Let me know." That just barely came in, and I was really excited to see it, and I was like, oh my gosh, hi agent, tomorrow works great for me. Here's my phone number. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. And then they sent me a calendar invite, and the calendar invite is labeled as offer call. So I think this is my second offer. I'm really excited to talk to this agent and just kind of hear another agent's thoughts on the whole book. This agent has worked with some of the big 5 publishers in the past in other capacities, so I know that they would offer a really cool editorial vision potentially, and I'm interested to see what they have to say about villain theory. The fact that it is a second offer call is just amazing, and I'm so grateful. I'm also still waking up. That's the development for today. Starting the week strong. I sent my very first query on January 19th, which was 3 weeks ago, and I have just scheduled my second offer call. My decision deadline is the 18th, so next Wednesday. Between these 2 agents, if they're the only 2 that offer, they are both senior agents. They're both very experienced in their fields, and I would be so honored to work with either one of them. We'll see what the agent has to say tomorrow about villain theory, and then I will update you guys. Okay, today is Friday, February 10th. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. This morning I opened up my inbox to find that I had another full request. A personalized rejection from a dream agent. She is so certain that the book will sell and that it's a great concept. She just wanted a little bit more from the character and couldn't decide what it was. And so she opted to step aside for representation that could help me define that editorial vision and get the book with the right publisher and the right editor that would bring that character to life. So my second agent call is in 2 hours. So I'm just kind of thinking through general topics, things that I want to ask this agent as I connect with them, and what I'm looking for in an agent, especially after having the first call and talking to the client of the first offer. I really think that I have a much clearer idea of the kind of agent I want to work with, and it is helping me adjust my definition of a dream agent in the process of getting ready to sign with one. So I'm really grateful for this experience. It's teaching me a lot. I feel like I'm kind of forcing myself to normalize this process so that I can get through the process, even though beneath the surface there are so many emotions. There's so much anxiety, as well as anticipation. The only way for me to biologically move through this process and make decisions with a clear head is to pretend like it is normal. But none of this is normal. This is a very rare occurrence to even get full requests, let alone connect with agents and have an outstanding offer. More than one is just beyond my wildest dreams. And there were days I remember so many times when I thought I would never get to this point. And so I don't want to portray that it's normal, because it's not. But also my body is treating it like normal everyday business. Being this close to publishing a book and sharing my stories and seeing one of my longest dreams realized, if I stop and think about that too much, then my body starts to shut down because I don't know how to handle it. So we're normalizing for the sake of survival, and then we can jump up and down and celebrate and commiserate and all of the things once the business side of things is taken care of, and once I sign with an agent. I cannot believe those words are even coming out of my mouth right now. Like, it is so weird. I have to tell myself that this is normal, that this happens all the time, and that I can do this because it happens all the time, and not like completely lose my mind over how incredible this is. I'm going to prep for my call that's happening here in a little bit, right around lunchtime. I'm going to obviously take care of my little guy because he comes first. And then, send off that full manuscript request. I got an email this morning from another agent who has had it for a couple days, and they said that they're almost done reading through Villain Theory, and they will get back to me, responding to my nudge about the offer of rep by the end of the day. And the fact that they are sharing that enthusiasm makes me wonder if they are also considering representation. It just blows my mind. Anyways, I've got to go take care of my guy, but it's been a really great day, and we're gonna see what comes of it. Yeah. Okay, so I just finished chatting with the second agent, and I do officially have my second offer of representation. She is sending over the contract now for me to review. She is so cool. We just chatted over the phone for like almost an hour, and she had so many great insights about the book and ideas for like editors she would send it to, people she would pitch it to. She gave me a lot of really good feedback on the book itself. She really liked Talia's character. I loved talking to her and connecting with all of these agents over the past few weeks, which is a very unique and very special experience, has really just made me feel so grateful for all of the really cool professionals that work in the publishing industry. As an industry, it has its drama at times, but that doesn't negate the fact that there are so many people in this industry that just love books, and they love stories, and they love talking about stories and characters. I'm so thankful for all of these people who are finding excitement and promise in my story. I now have 2 agent contracts sitting in my inbox. This is the point I never thought I would get to. My heart is just beating so fast. I can't stop smiling because she just had so many nice things to say about my book. She had a great direction, a great editorial vision for the book, and ideas for how we could position it for some really awesome editors and imprints. And I'm so grateful. She was so chill, and we really clicked and connected and just got to chatting, and it was so fun. Now I'm put in this impossible place where you have to make a decision. Right before I got on the call with this second agent offer, my first offering agent did reach out to me in an email. It's been a little over a week since we connected, and they were just checking in and letting me know that they were still available for answering any questions if things came up as I was connecting with other people and reviewing the contract that they sent over, letting me know that they're thinking about me and my book. I really feel like both of these agents would be very intentional about representing me as a client, helping me push forward the books I want to write, helping me position them in a way that is smart and carefully thought through, and then also just being a really great representative for me on my behalf in the rooms that I'm not in. The real dream agent is the one that loves your book. And I know it's so cliche. I see that all over the place, but the real dream agent is the one that loves your book, makes the time for you as a client, sees you, encourages you, and I'm getting mushy because I'm all excited about it. I have about another week or so until the deadline. At this point, it is already becoming an impossible decision, and I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful. Let that go down in history. Put it on my headstone, whatever you need to do. Thank you to all of these literary agents who are making time for this and for me and for my dream. On to the next one. Okay, it is still February 10th. I just barely checked my inbox and that second contract has come in. But along with the contract is a letter from the president of the agency. It is personalized to me. It mentions villain theory. It mentions some of the elements that they really liked. This decision window is probably so stressful for agents, just like it is stressful for authors. I just love the creative ways that they are showing me they're personally invested in my career already before I've even signed with them. As someone who, one of my primary love languages is honestly writing letters. Like if I feel like someone's having a bad day or I miss someone, I am so quick to pick up a pen and write a snail mail letter to someone. Because words are so important to me. It's just very, very humbling, and I just don't have words anymore. Just no more words. I'm gonna go cry with my 1-year-old. We'll cry together, and someday I will tell him about this week of my life and all of the incredible people who believed in me and cheered me on before I had anything, before I had signed anyone, before I had a single word out in the publishing world. I will tell him all about this. Can you tell I'm emotional again? We're going to review this contract, we're going to read this letter, and we're not going to cry because this is definitely normal and happens all the time, and I'm not going to panic, and you're not going to panic. I'm not going to totally break down, and you're not going to totally break down, because this happens all the time to completely normal people. It's not like my dreams are just about to come true. No. Normalizing for survival. I guess that's my mission statement of the week. We're normalizing for survival. Good morning. Today is Thursday, February 12th. It's right around 9 a.m. As of now, we are sitting at 22 full requests, and then some of those have now come back and lapped over into a total of 25 rejections and 2 offers of rep. I took some author headshots yesterday, kind of going like for a literary Vogue kind of look. We'll see if I actually end up sending them to the agent I sign with, but I'm very happy with how they turned out, and I kind of started putting together an announcement post that I get to share very, very soon. I have another submission reply at the top of my inbox this morning, and it is from one of my full requests. So I don't know why this one just makes me feel really nervous. I have gotten quite a few responses back. Yesterday I got a rejection, and it was really hard. I will admit, it was an agent I would have loved to work with, obviously. They sent me a really personalized rejection and also said that if I'm ever shopping for an agent again, that they would be so happy to take a look at my work once more. It's starting to wear on me, that initial excitement of sending out your work and hoping people will like it. The rejections start to come back, they start to pile up, and then you begin to question so much about you, your work, and whether this is all just some fever dream. I still feel that way, even though as of right now, I'm so lucky to have 2 outstanding offers of rep. I still feel like there is a sting that comes with every rejection. Yesterday, I was waiting on an email from someone I thought might offer, and then they ultimately passed. The emotions are complicated, even knowing that I am signing with an agent sometime in the next few days, even knowing that I'm still moving forward in my career and towards my goals, and I get to work with a business partner and a champion and an advocate and a mentor who is going to help my book come to life and find a home in the publishing world. I'm one step closer to that, and still these rejections can be so hard. So let's open this reply and see what they said about my full submission. Dear Hannah, thank you for sending me the manuscript for Villain Theory. Unfortunately, after careful consideration, I have decided to pass on the project. While your writing is very strong, I didn't find myself as immersed in the story as I wanted to be, and you deserve an agent who is head over heels for your project. I am sorry I'm not emailing you with better news, but obviously you have at least one agent who feels that way. Thank you for thinking of me and for the opportunity to read your work. I wish you all the very best luck, and I can't wait to see your work on the shelves in the future. That was a very kind rejection. This is also kind of just what happens when you email lots of agents. Like, I had very early interest in my novel, which I was very grateful for, and I took it as a sign that I needed to query lots of agents to kind of cast my net wide, and I sent out exactly 50 queries. I am now at 26 rejections. Of the full requests that I've sent out, I have received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 passes, 2 offers, and then 1 special circumstance where the agent has my full for Villain Theory, as well as a few opening pages of my next book that they are considering, and they have shown really strong interest in that book. They wanted kind of a synopsis breakdown of where the development is at for that next book. They've emailed me back and forth about it quite a few times, and so they are considering both Villain Theory's full manuscript and the beginning pages of the first draft of my next potential book, which is a standalone gothic fantasy. So that's kind of where we're at stats-wise. I still have 11 cold queries that I haven't heard back from at all. Again, I think I'm trying to normalize the process and not think about the fact that I have offers of rep, because that is a huge victory, a huge step forward. I'm very grateful for that. I still feel very grateful for that. I took those author headshots during my little guy's nap time, and then I got him up and we were having food, and I was looking at the headshots, realizing that they will be going onto an agent's website. They will be going onto an announcement post, and that I am moving forward. And even though I am getting passes and rejections on the other side of an offer, it doesn't mean that I am suddenly less of a writer. It doesn't mean that I am settling or compromising with these agents that I choose to have calls with and sign with. It's just one step closer, and at this point I've done what I can do. They're doing what they can do, and if these agents are stepping aside because they don't quite click, that's okay. That I would rather that than they tried to represent a book that they secretly felt wasn't quite there. Closing in, we have 6 days out till my decision deadline. At this point, I don't expect to hear back from most of my cold queries. They're very busy people, so I'm grateful for replies when they send them, but I'm not going to be bitter if they don't get around to it. That's just part of the business. I have my headshots done. I have my announcement post designed. I'm ready to sign my agent contract. So at this point, I'm just making sure that I check all the boxes, sleep on it, think about it, and every day that passes, I'm feeling more and more confident about the agent I'm leaning toward. Now, for the rest of this week, part of the reason why I set my decision deadline for next Wednesday instead of next Monday is because we are traveling this weekend. We have a family wedding out of state. I am also going to a writers conference on Saturday morning. I'm going to try to keep documenting the process because I think that it's going to wrap up over the weekend. Anyway, that's where my thoughts are at. That's where my mind is at right now. We have 11 cold queries. I still haven't heard back from it all. We also have 11 full manuscripts still out with agents. At this point, I am shifting very much away from the querying mindset and into the reviewing my contract, making sure that I have what I need. I asked my preferred agent about what their onboarding process looks like, and they sent me a really good response of what to expect if/when I sign with them. My announcement post is designed, and I did put my preferred agent's name and agency as a placeholder on there. When I was typing the name onto the announcement post, it just was like another something just sat there telling me that this was a good choice, and it felt like the right representation, the right agent, the right step. And so I feel really good about this moving forward. We could be signing with an agent anytime in the next few days. Good morning. Today is Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. I am in Utah for a family wedding we had yesterday, and now today I am going to a writers conference called Life, the Universe, and Everything. I'm going to meet up with some writing friends, go to some really awesome classes. I had signed up to pitch to an agent this morning, but I did email them and let them know that I no longer need the slot because I'm signing with someone next week. We're going to the conference today, and I'm just going to focus on learning more about writing and not thinking about everything else going on right now. I think it'll be very fun and refreshing. It's always something that manages to help me find new inspiration, especially when I feel like it has been a slog the last few weeks. I'm excited to see what I learned today. I am also so excited because my family is very, very involved in celebrating Scottish culture and our Scottish ancestry. And I looked on the schedule today, and at 1 o'clock we are having a Scottish ceilidh. And I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically like a campfire get together where everybody just stands up and sings songs. It's very casual and it is so much fun. I am excited. I did not expect there to be one today. I have my Harris tweed bag. I'm wearing my plaid, and I'm excited to go and attend this writers conference, and then at 1 o'clock go and attend the Scottish ceilidh. Today is Monday, February 16th. It has officially been 2 full weeks since I was extended my first offer of representation, and 4 full weeks since I first jumped into the query trenches. It has been a very, very fast process. In that time, I have managed to send exactly 50 queries and hear back from, I think, all but maybe 10 of them. So a really good percentage of agents have been able to get back to me with a really quick turnaround, which I have really, really appreciated. I am up to now, I think, 31 rejections, and most of those rejections have come after the nudge prompting a response following my first offer of representation. I've gotten a lot of really incredible personalized rejections. A lot of these rejections or passes have followed full manuscript requests. I think I got up to 22 full manuscript requests, 2 of which have turned into offers, and then a few more that loved it but ultimately decided to pass. The biggest reasons people have passed is because they couldn't find an editorial vision, or they thought that their editorial vision was different than the one that I wanted to follow. I also had a few agents tell me that they loved the premise. However, it did lean a little bit more new adult than young adult, and they primarily represent young adult authors. I had one agent from day 2 of querying who requested a full manuscript right away, and has had it, I think, the longest out of all of these agents, and seemed very interested, and then got back to me and said that they had run out of time to read the manuscript because they were busy with other clients. To kind of catch you up, over the weekend I had several more rejections and passes come in. My deadline is in 2 days, so it's looking like I'm going to have these 2 offers to decide between. I definitely have one that I'm leaning towards. I connected with the law clinic on Friday. They were able to get in and have someone look at my contract. That person and contact came back to me today, and they had some little tweaks and adjustments and suggestions. I sent it on to the agent that I'm hoping to sign with. I let them know that I'm prepared to sign with them this week. I let them know that I connected with one of their clients last weekend and that she only had good things to say. That really solidified the decision for me, I think, and really just helped me feel super confident about signing with them. I sent the email just before lunch today, and we're 2 hours behind New York time where my agent is. So I will probably not hear back from them until tomorrow. If all goes well, then we'll be signing the contract fairly shortly. I did hear back from that agent who I got the private query referral link for. This agent was one that I've had on my list for years. She wasn't open to queries. I got special permission and a private query link to send a query to her. She was gracious enough to request a full manuscript, which I sent to her. And at the same time, she also requested the first few pages of my next novel, which I pitched in my bio to her, particularly because I know that this is very similar work to the work that she represents, and it's already a story I've been working on. She got back to me and requested additional pages and a full summary of whatever I have already developed for that book, kind of recognizing at the same time that I have been focusing all of my time and energy on this other book. Back and forth. So I sent her the very rough synopsis that I have for the book, and she thanked me for it, said no worries, it's okay if it's not completely developed. I know that it's going to be rougher. Ultimately, she passed on Villain Theory. She said that she just didn't quite fall in love with it the way that she wanted to in order to be able to sign me on and represent me, and particularly this book with publishers. However, she also said that she absolutely loved the pages and the concept of my next book, as well as my trajectory for other projects I'm working on. She loves my voice, believes I'm an expert writer, which was honestly so incredible for someone like her in the industry to say. And she invited me to query her again if I'm ever in the market for an agent, and that she would love to see some of my future work if I get to that point. And I am so grateful. She's the second agent that has invited me to loop back around to her if this current agent relationship doesn't work out. And these are emails that I was not expecting to receive in the querying process, and especially in this nudging and decision and passing and full manuscript process. I had mentally prepared myself for everything to be either a yes or no, and for most of them to be no's. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see that this agent, as well as another agent, were so happy to cheer me on in this next step, and then invited me to query them again or reach out again if I'm ever looking for another agent. However, in this past week or so, as I have been thinking about both of my offers, about the difference between talking to the two agents, as well as watching my outstanding query list with the agents who have my full get slowly smaller and smaller as I find final decisions at the top of my inbox each morning, I have come to feel that the first offering agent who initially extended to me the offer 2 weeks ago today is so much embodying that true dream agent that I think I've always been looking for. They have a very organized workflow. They are very communicative. They're very easy to talk to, but even more than that, they loved my book for what it is. They loved the direction I was taking it. They caught the vision, and just even the few most cursory editorial feedback suggestions that they gave me in the offer call were so much along the lines of what I wanted the story to be, enhancing the story into even more of what I knew it could be. I just really appreciated that they are willing to take the time to look at it, to consider it, and then to offer on it was a big deal. And I really feel like this is a partnership that will benefit me and my literary career for my entire life. I don't feel any qualms at this point. I know that it is such a unique place to be in, to be at the point where I get to not only sign with an agent, but I get to choose. And that is something that not everyone gets the opportunity to do. And I'm trying to simultaneously balance these two ideas of the scarcity, the special circumstances of being at this point where I get to talk to literary agents, connect with them, share my work, and get requests, get offers, while also recognizing at the same time that I need to pretend like it's not totally crazy. I need to maintain a level head in order to work through this process one step at a time. Nothing rushed, nothing hasty, everything intentional, slow, and deliberate. And then I can rest at night knowing that I brought forth all my due diligence. I did everything I wanted to do. I checked every box, and I am so confident in my decision in choosing between these two agents. This agent is a fantastic, fantastic partner to be launching these books with, working on these stories with. It's really hard to express my excitement and not at the same time get really overwhelmed by my emotions, just because I've worked for this for so long, I've waited for this for so long, hoped for this, dreamed for this, all of those things that we do as writers when we are working towards this dream. It is such a special place to be, and I don't want to waste it by appearing aloof, but I also don't want to scramble my emotions too early when there are still serious business discussions that need to be had, getting closer and closer to this goal. There's a time and place for emotions. And as adults, I think it's really cool that we can give those emotions a time and place after all of the incredible things have happened and after the business side of it, the professional side of it has been taken care of. But I'm trying to remain in this business mindset one step after another without getting too overwhelmed about the fact that I just emailed a literary agent asking them to review final contract weeks so that I can sign with them. That is wild. And that is very special. I really just don't have words for it. I've expressed this to some of my close friends and family before, but I have a really hard time with just saying thank you. I feel like it doesn't convey the depth of my appreciation for people, from the beta readers that are reading early drafts of my book to the presenters at writing conferences who teach me new things that I can incorporate to make my story stronger, to, people who critique and review and help improve my query letter so that I stand out to literary agents. Then literary agents actually getting back to me and sharing feedback in personalized rejections or requesting the full and expressing admiration for my work, all the way up to literary professionals signing me, representing me, working with me towards this dream. It is a long, hard process. It requires a ton of discipline and a ton of whimsy being balanced with business, and that is such a weird space to be in. But we can find a space for it. It exists out there. I'm recovering from a long weekend, so I think I'm going to be a lot more emotional about it when it actually hits me after the fact. When I allow myself to sit down, it's already hitting me. When I allow myself to sit down and think about the years of work that have gone into this, I want to be able to share it and announce it and feel like it's something I earned, not just something that was given to me, not just something that I happened upon, but something that I worked so hard for and achieved. Hopefully sharing these pieces of it helps other people feel like they can do it too, because I was once right where you are, sitting in a chair, sitting in my bed, sitting on the couch, watching young writers, debut authors, sharing their stories, making videos, explaining their process, exploring the psychology behind being a creative who's trying to promote themselves without being salesy, that endless void of the internet and trying to market themselves out there into it. I watched them do that, and I've watched so many other people do that, and now I'm trying to, kind of give back in a way where I'm at this point in my career, and I want to share it so that you know that you can do it too. And it takes so much effort, and it doesn't always work, but sometimes you do get it. Sometimes it's okay to dream big, I guess. And now I just have to wait and hear back from that agent. And if it's fast, then we sign tomorrow. Or today. I would sign at midnight. I would sign at 3 a.m. I would sign anytime. As soon as they give me the green light. Here we are in the final hours. I think we will have an answer in the next day or so. And it has all come down to this. Today is Tuesday, February 17th. It is currently 1:45 in the afternoon, and I just got back my final contract from the agent that I have chosen to move forward with. We're going to sign it together. To my email, review a document. I've been sent a contract to sign. Just gotta fill this out really quick. The author hereby appoints this agency to act as author's sole and exclusive agent in the representation of author's rights, as defined below, in the literary work entitled Villain Theory. I'm so excited! And finish. It made a fun noise. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I just signed with a literary agent. So bizarre. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whew. I don't know how to feel. Whew. I need lunch so bad. I haven't eaten anything today because this was like the only thing I was thinking about. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to record my honest reaction. I just can't tell you the weight that is gone off my shoulders. It is a long road ahead still. This is only the next step, but oh my gosh, this is a huge step. I'm so excited about this agent. He didn't even wait 2 minutes before jumping into the book and revisions, and it just makes me feel like my work, my stories, and this project is a priority. And that it is at top of mind, and that we want to get going on this, which is everything that I wanted in an agent. I can't believe that just happened. I cannot believe that we get to talk about next steps. And now I just get to process everything. I'm gonna take a day to do the paperwork, kind of straighten everything out. And then we see what comes next. This is gonna be such a long vlog. Okay. There you have it, guys. That is, oh my gosh, not even the full extent, but just like the skimming off the top of the past 3 months of my life and what it has really looked like and felt like as I went through the querying process for the second time. Obviously, this time around was a lot different. I ended it with a literary agent who is championing my work and who is cheering me on, very excited about the projects we've got going on. I could not be more grateful. I recognize that this, at times it may seem like it's one person making this happen, but this is the accumulation of many, many, many people, the support systems, the encouragement, the mentors and the educators and the fellow writers and the body doubles, the beta readers, all of these people that come before. This is an accumulation of many, many, many people working together, making time for creative projects like this. I am just so grateful that I have people like that in my corner who have made it possible. And now I have one more. I signed with James McGowan, who is a senior literary agent at Bookends Literary. He is incredible. He was so excited to get started, and I'm just so grateful. We have done some incredible work on Villain Theory since then, and I have lots more to share with you sometime in the future. But I'm gonna close this video for today. Thank you so much for watching through and reliving this roller coaster with me. It has been a whirlwind few months. I know this is not the typical experience, but I hope that it was eye-opening and gave you some really good ideas or insights into the process. Don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Substack. I'm on Instagram pretty much every day, and then I am on Substack for my newsletter just a couple times a month, and of course on YouTube. I try to be on here about every month or so, but last month we had so much going on that I missed it. Check and make sure that you're subscribed down below, and go ahead and leave a like on the video if you found it really helpful. I will continue to make videos as long as I can. I'm so excited for all that we have ahead of us. Querying is just one step of many in working towards publication. It's a really big step. It's a really important step. It can be really hard to get to, and I recognize that. And I hope that you only walk away from this vlog feeling encouraged, inspired, and like you are now better equipped to go out and be an advocate and be a representative of your stories better than you were before. That is my only goal in sharing this with you, and I hope that you find all the inspiration. I wish you the best of luck in your writing projects. Keep an eye out for Villain Theory, hopefully coming to bookshelves soon. Anyway, that's all for now. We will catch you in the next one.